It's called In the Heat of the Night. You know the line from that old song, and too many moonlight kisses start to cool in the warmth of the sun. Yeah, that's what it is. They cool in the warmth of the sun. That's why I had to do it in the heat of the night. I didn't want to, but I knew I had to. I guess we all have those times when we have to do something we really don't want to do. Something that goes completely against our grain. Yet we do it simply because we must, and cannot escape or avoid that simple fact, as if some power far greater than ourselves is forcing us to do it. It seems to me my relationship with B was the best one I ever had. We met at a friend's house and somehow started talking and got together the next day, and that's how it went. It was all very quiet and simple, yet so totally satisfying and exciting. So different from all my previous ones. Most of the others started with a real flurry of activity. Shows, clubs, weekends on the island or skiing, whining, dining, endless weekends in bed, you know what I mean. There were one or two that weren't explosive from the beginning, but it was a short wait. And sooner or later they all ended up the same. There were a few that lasted for 6 months or so, but eventually there was the inevitable phone call where she wasn't feeling well, or a friend just got into town, and she had to cancel the date for that night. Perhaps there would be another date after that, but only one at the most. And then the phone call where she says, I think it's not working anymore, and we should stop seeing each other. It just isn't going anywhere. Just before the phone rings, you know who it is on the other end. You know what she's going to say, and you also know she's right. But still you resist and try to convince her she's wrong. Do everything you can to have her agree to give it another week or so. But you know it's useless, that she's made up her mind, and you agree. Yet you're powerless to stop your arguments. They seem to have a life of their own and must go on until they die their own death. And even as you're trying to convince yourself that the argument is really a discussion, you know you don't want to continue the relationship, that you're relieved it's over, that it was not only becoming boring but a burden. But what it is you're trying to avoid is the anger and bitterness that always follows a busted romance. You know it's her fault it didn't work, but she's blind to that simple fact. No matter how many ways you prove it's her fault, she can't see it. Just can't see that if she hadn't been so damn selfish, if she didn't always have to have her way, if she just could have compromised a little. And then, of course, she tries to get off the hook by accusing you of these things. And you end up so pissed off, you slam the phone down and fume for a while, and finally calm down and wait for her to call. And when she doesn't call, you give her a chance to apologize. But all you get is a machine, and no matter how many times you call, all you get is her goddamn machine. And finally, you're forced to go by her place to see if her light is on. Then listen outside her door to see if she's alone, and all you can do is hate the bitch and hope she sees you with your new girlfriend, who is a hell of a lot smarter and a hell of a lot prettier. And then a few months later, it starts all over again. You know what I mean. But it was different with B. We had some wonderful times together. And I have never been with a woman who was more exciting in bed than B. And I've never enjoyed washing a woman's hair as much as I've enjoyed washing hers. She had a way of leaning into my hands and smiling as I rubbed her head, then rinsed her hair until it squeaked. And she always giggled the sweetest giggle. God, I can still feel her hair and smell the shampoo and water as it splashed and trickled. But I think the greatest times were the times walking through Greenwich Village, especially on those balmy summer evenings. We would just roam around, up and down and around, always, of course, making sure we walked up Bleecker Street. stopping outside the Italian grocery stores with the cheeses and salamis hanging from the ceiling, and breathing deeply and looking at each other and laugh. God, I have such wonderful memories of B. You see, that's the thing I realized. You have this great relationship, have all this fun, and then go through the fights and arguments and end up hating each other, and all you remember is what a rotten bitch she is. You never remember the good times. I just did not want that to happen with B. It was too beautiful to trash like that. She was too beautiful. So that's why I had to kill her in the heat of the night, when everything was so perfect. Sooner or later, she would have been gone anyway. And at least this way I have all these wonderful memories for the first time, the very first time. I wonder if maybe I can build up a whole string of happy memories. I also wonder if she can feel the warmth of the sun on her face.